how to handle relapse, how to manage relapse, how to address relapse, how to help your family when they are struggling with relapse. So you cannot talk about addiction without talking of relapse. So if you have not watched my videos on addiction and triggers and withdrawal symptoms, go and do so, then come to this video. This is a video on the series on videos on addiction. So relapse is a part of an addiction. When you start the addiction, when you're having an addiction and you start a sobriety journey, relapse is something that you will experience in your sobriety journey. There are stages of relapse. There's a lapse and there's a relapse. A lapse happens when you find yourself going back to use your substance of choice. The first time that you go and use it, that's called a lapse. So get me right, you've started the journey of sobriety, maybe you've been in a rehabilitation center, or you are following the AA's group, or maybe you're doing it at home, trying hard. So you've stayed 3 or 4 months without using any substance, without using alcohol. I'm going to focus this video on alcohol. So you have not used alcohol for a whole 4 months. And then something happens. Maybe you're having a party with your friends, with your family, and they are serving wine, and then you find yourself drinking some wine. You try to hold yourself from tasting it, and then you cannot hold yourself, and then you find yourself tasting the wine. That's called a lapse. You see, a lapse happens, and then after a lapse, how you will handle that lapse will take you to the relapse. I also want to explain the cognitive aspect of relapse. Before you go to take that substance, before you go to use alcohol, there's something that's happening in your head. You start thinking about it. You start thinking about the alcohol. Can I just have a sip? So I would like you to catch yourself when you are starting to think about alcohol, and I want you to remind yourself of the one reason that made you to start the sobriety journey. Now, this is a powerful thing that you can do to yourself if you want to prevent a relapse. Catch yourself when you are starting to think about relapse. Relapse happens in stages. You start thinking about it. After thinking about it, you put more thought on it. Then you make an effort. You walk to a place where you are going to get the substance of choice. You're going to get a drink from your refrigerator, or from the bar, or from a grocery store, or wherever you get your drink. So without the thought process, you cannot be able to go and get the drink. So if you can catch yourself when you are still thinking about this bottle, when you're still thinking about alcohol, and remind yourself of the one reason that made you to start the sobriety journey, then you can disrupt the relapse process. If that doesn't happen, then after thinking about the relapse, you'll walk to your refrigerator, you'll get the bottle, you'll drink it, and then you will be having your lapse. I've already explained about a lapse. And then after that lapse, you will experience a period of intense guilt. It's an overwhelming nature of guilt. If you're struggling with addiction, and if you've tried to embrace sobriety, you know what I mean when I talk about an overwhelming level of guilt that you feel after the lapse. So that is a point that I want to tell you that you need to talk to a professional. If you can, reach out to my website, talk to a psychologist, and get to have a session with me. Something that you can do after a lapse is, I would like you to start by forgiving yourself. You know, don't be hard on yourself. You have had a whole 4 months of staying without alcohol, and now time has come that you have had a lapse. I want you to know that what you have had is a lapse. It's not a relapse. Your reaction towards this lapse will decide whether you are going to go to relapse, the uncontrollable use of alcohol. Actually, relapse is the uncontrollable use of alcohol. So if you can handle the lapse well, then instead of you going back to the uncontrollable use of alcohol, you will go back into your sobriety journey. You will bounce back into the journey. And just realize that you're a human being. You can make a mistake. You made a mistake, but that doesn't define you. Reinvent your goal. You're still in the journey of sobriety, and move on. So, well, I am going to post another video on how to support a family that is handling an addiction. Subscribe to get notified when I post that video. Reach out to our website and book a session with me to get a chance for me to walk the journey with you of recovery. If you have any questions, I like to hear from you. Send the question to my email, nafulasara8@gmail.com. Thank you again for listening.